What's the strongest ship in the fleet? And I know fleets. Friendship. Scene Snobs, you guys are great.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Review This with the Scene Snobs. I'm Mick Manhattan, of course, one half of the Scene Snobs duo, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. This is our review. Now, if you guys are first tuning in for the first time with this, we do a non-spoiler and then a spoiler review. And I'm going to tell you, this is probably going to be more of a shorter one because I can get a little bit emotional on this one. I have never been invited to play Dungeons and Dragons before. It's true. I've had many friends play. They still play, and I have never been invited. Shame on them, because I've always wanted to play. It always seems like a really fun universe to kind of get into and play, and it's so rich in story. I've always been excited to try it. Well, I went and saw Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves, and I got to tell you, without knowing anything about it, I actually really enjoyed the movie. I'm not usually a big fantasy guy, mostly because, in my opinion, fantasy movies can be very stuffy in sort of its tone. And, you know, a lot of the older ones, the newer ones, not as much. A lot of new ones kind of embrace more of a fun atmosphere. Whereas, like, going back to when I was young, one of my favorite fantasy movies of all time was Willow, because I feel like it embraced that almost like comedic nature and kind of had a lighthearted nature to it as well, and tone. So, you know, but more of the ones that really kind of took themselves very seriously are great. I am not putting them down. I don't think they're bad in any way, shape, or form. I would review them as very good movies because if they stand out that way. But it wasn't something I gravitated towards. I was more of a horror sci-fi guy. So fantasy was kind of lost on me for a long time. Fast forward to today, where we see more and more fantasy movies coming out, especially based on properties like this, these different IPs, and they seem to embrace that lightheartedness and things like that I actually appreciate in an adventure type of movie. So the setting for this, with that being said, I, again, don't know much about the world of D&D. I wish I did. If anybody wants to comment or follow us on social media, let's talk about it, or invite me to your game. I would love to give it a try, but I'm going to tell you, I don't know anything. I'll do my best. I do have a 20-sided die, though. So, guys, let's get started. Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves follows a guild, I guess, is one way to put it. Again, don't know much. And they're just they're thieves that have a beautiful little backstory, if I do say so. I really liked how they did it, where Chris Pine's character, who leads these thieves, one being a sorcerer, one being a wildling, I think they called her, where she could change into animal form. A very cool owl bear, if that's a thing, I love it. Again, fill me in the comments. Is owl bear a real thing in Dungeons & Dragons? Because I thought that was awesome. A lot of things about this was. And they get double-crossed and sent to jail. They have to get out, save his daughter, and stop the bad guys. And there's a lot more to it than that. And of course, this is the non-spoiler portion of this review. We'll get to the spoilers later. So I don't want to give away much. I really loved everybody kind of playing off each other in this movie. And I love that they really just went for it. And it was, you know, they were speaking in their regular accents, things like that, you know, American accents, or in Hugh Grant's case, he has the English accent. I like that they stuck to that, because it almost kind of gave it a vibe of like, these are people playing this. I imagined it was like they're all at a table playing this game, and this is what they see while they're playing it. And I really like that idea of it. Now, that is not in the movie. You know, there's no spoiler there on that. That's not how this plays out. There's no twist in that nature. It just felt like it was more relatable. Like it's based on a game. Like, I don't know. I kind of like that feel and vibe to it. So going into it, again, there were some things that kind of got a little hokey for me in certain areas. And that was more the filmmaking side than the referencing of the game or anything. And some of the characters, you know, not the main characters. Main characters did fine. Like Hugh Grant kind of had a weird, turn in certain parts of things like that, and like his villain character, he did a good job, but he wasn't the greatest of villains in this movie, and he kind of handed up a little bit in certain scenes, just in my general opinion. And but I did like the Red Wizard storyline and where that comes from, the whole line on that area. I love the fact that they have stories like this in D&D, and it is so like rich in those stories, so that way we can visit a lot of different things. This played out really well, and I actually, so I think this is a great movie to go see in theaters because it is that explosive, adventurous attitude to it that you really pops on screen like that. So if you are a D&D fan, you might want to go check this out, just as a general fantasy movie. But I would love to hear your opinions, so make sure. Now, we're going to get into the more of the spoiler side of things, but let me give my rating for this movie first. I liked it a little bit above a middle of the road. I give it 3 mics out of 5. It's one that I think I'll revisit again. I will probably watch it multiple times. Now, I do hope that ultimately it doesn't take away from anything when I'm, like when I go to revisit it, like learning more about the game and kind of going through that, it doesn't take anything away. But as of right now, it was truly fantastic. And I just really liked the whole element of it. Michelle Rodriguez's character in the movie. This is probably the movie I liked her in the most recently, because she's very stoic in the Fast and Furious movies. And, when she pops up in other movies, she does a really good job. I think she's a fine actor. But in this movie, she had a lot of depth to her. I really liked how they played it up. I like how her character went from beginning to end, where it was their relationship together. So I liked a lot about this. Justice Smith did a great job as a sorcerer in the movie, a part of the guild. And it overall, just a lot of fun. They all played off each other really well. And for me, I don't know why everybody's calling me at this moment. For me, I definitely think that you should go check it out. Again, it's a little bit above middle of the road, but hopefully you guys will see it, like it. I would love to hear what you think. Sound off on social media if you see it, or comment here. Make sure to also give a like and give a subscribe. We really appreciate it. We have great videos coming out all the time. Now, the reason I say that is because we're getting into spoiler territory. That's right, everybody. Spoiler territory. So I'm putting it up. I'm not going to go again too in depth because it isn't really a twist heavy movie or anything like that. Nothing's really blowing out on it, but blowing in your direction that would take you out if you knew about it before going in. Now, with that being said, I really enjoyed pretty much everything about the movie. The scenery was great. Cinematography was awesome. The visual effects were very cool. All the creatures that they had. Some were recognizable to me. I've seen in on other pop culture things, like, when you watch other people playing D&D on TV and such. So I kind of dug being able to like do that. Like I like Funko Pops, and they have like it's like a chest that turns into like a big mouth and like it is tacking, and that was in the movie. So that was very cool to see because I could, I could match it to something that I've seen before. Some very cool things going on in this movie, but also at the same time, there were some things that just kind of like threw me out. Like, it's cool that they added the character of the paladin, and he had to take them to go get this helmet that was mystical, so they can kind of like complete their quest. But then like he leaves very quickly and then comes back towards the end, and I was just like, I don't understand why you're taking him out of it. I felt like he could have stayed in. It's not a big deal, but I just like his rapport with the rest of the team, and I thought he fit really well in there. So when you took him out of it, you're kind of like, oh, okay. Like, so it's just the 4 of them. But I do understand also taking him out because he was like ungodly great at everything, it seems. So it just kind of really threw you for a loop when he did leave, because he is like put up in the forefront as like one of the big stars of this movie. So other than that, of course, we see a lot of very cool things. Chris Pine did a great job. I wanted to mention him as well. Everybody did. It just was a really fun movie. But what took me out of it was it seemed like a very fast movie. For 2 hours, 14 minutes, it's weird. Like, if your movie doesn't feel like it's over 2 hours, I think that's a good sign. This movie almost felt too quick for being 2 hours and 14 minutes. Seemed like it was bing, 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 bing. I didn't really feel like at any point there were any real serious danger, because that comedic element that they were adding that I do appreciate and like, it seemed to kind of take away from when they were in danger. And then in a certain type of situation, like, you always kind of felt like they're going to get out of it. And there's better ways to do that, especially to toe that line of like, that thrilling, dangerous moments in movies versus the comedic side. A really good movie for you to check out, if you haven't, that does that well, is Three Amigos, where they add a dangerous element to it with the comedy twist. It's very good. So yeah, with that being said, that's what really kind of took me out of it a little bit, was like just a couple of things here and there that threw me off. But ultimately, again, really liked the movie. I hope you guys get a chance to go check it out. If you wait for it to come out, no big deal. I get that. But sound off. Let us know what you think, because again, I am anxious to learn more about it. Is there really an owl bear? Is there other creatures like that in the game? So, just let me know. I'm dying to know. I may be asking these questions for a while. But again, if you're just tuning in, so you guys see, my rating is 3 out of 5 mics for this. So I had a really good time. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I am the Scene Snob. You can check us out on the Scene Snobs Podcast. My partner, the Madman, and we have a good time with it. We have the Snob Nation Morning Drive live show, which is on hiatus until April 14th. And the reason we're doing that is because we have a very big event coming up. It's called Casters for a Cause. We are doing a 16-hour live fundathon where we are going to have many shows jump in and kind of be a part of it. It starts at 7 a.m. It goes to 11 p.m. And we are raising funds for Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. All the proceeds that we earn are going to go through there. There will be a GoFundMe set up to do that. But yeah, so we're going to be doing that. And so we're going to be planning that out. So a couple of our shows are going to be on hiatus for the next 2 weeks, but make sure to keep checking it out. I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon.
Hey guys, Mick here. Thanks so much for watching the show and supporting us. We appreciate it. We appreciate you coming back and joining in the comments. But guys, I really want to thank you, our patrons who are out here supporting us, helping us keep the lights on. Really, truly appreciate you. Tim, Paul, Stacy, Matt, Aaron, AJ, George G3, Chris S, Dale, Chris H, Dan, John B, Ron, Jason, and John W. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Guys, we have 3 tiers available right now. As of March 1st, we're adding 2 more tiers for a total of 5 with tons of perks. So go check out patreon.com/thescenesnobs. And join our Snob Nation Discord channel where the moderators are keeping everything going and we're having really fun conversations over there and more. So go check it out. It's free to join and just be part of the Snob Nation. And remember to embrace the absurdity. Hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. We have tons of great shows coming out and more. Our lives are over on Patreon, but you can check out the Snob Nation Morning Drive live show on our YouTube channel Friday, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern, and tons more shows coming up thereafter. We have great shows like the Scene Snobs Podcast, Betting Bros, Math vs. Smash, Real Combat, movie reviews, and tons more. We have fun over there, and we think you will too. If you're looking for great merch, go over to the snobsmerch.com store. Use promo code SNOBS for 10% off of your order. We have tons of shirts, mugs, everything, stickers, all different types of designs. We love it. I think you will too. So go check it out and let us know what you think. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms. We are at The Scene Snobs everywhere. You can also follow Casey at Planos21 on Instagram, at Casey the Madman on TikTok, and at Twitter Night on Twitter. Guys, tons of fun stuff and new things coming out every day, so go check out our content there. Thank you guys again. We are The Scene Snobs. Embrace the absurdity with us, and we love you, and we'll talk to you guys soon.